But we still have a little bit to wait, and our next presenter, Adrien Nazarian, is not here yet. We hope he will still come, and so we will have the following presenter to do the presentation, and then we will enjoy food. And right after food, I want you to stay because we will have martial arts school coming over here, and they will also do some demonstration as their mentor, their master, will talk about how body and language are connected, how martial arts is a universal language. But right now, let me introduce our next presenter, Dr. Alex Parsina. And Dr. Alex Parsina will talk about the hero, about Cyrus the Great and his life and legacy as a message of unity and humanity. Before I pass this to you, today in the morning while I was driving over here, I love to listen to Simon Sinek. Probably most of you know about him, right? And so it happened to be the video about hero, who is hero and how he defines hero. And one interesting idea or definition that he presented of the hero is that hero is the one that has courage, but that courage comes only when the hero has someone else to help him to be courageous. And so to be a hero, right, no one will take a risk unless you know that there is someone that can support you. No one will jump unless, right, they do their first trick unless they are tied with the net or somehow they know that they have their first protection. And so to be a hero, right, you stand out among others, but you definitely need those others to be next to you. And this is again talking about the unity with others and how we can have and develop that connection with others so that we can be a hero and feel hero when we are around the people that can take our back and can support us.
Greetings. I've lived in New York and Chicago. I can't believe people in LA, when it rains, it's like there's a huge storm. They cannot drive. It's just, I don't know, because we want rain, but then somehow we have to develop skills to drive in rain. I'm Dr. Alex Parsina. I'm not actually a historian of thought. I'm a businessman to begin with, but I'm also a professor, and I taught at Pepperdine for 18 years, and I was the head of the department, School of Business and Management there. I've written 2 books, and I brought a copy with me. One is Cyrus, The Rise of Empire, and the second one is Darius, Empire of the Sun. The third book, titled Xerxes, Clash of Empires, which basically tells the true story about the movie 300, is under publication. It should be out hopefully in about 6 months. Now, what I'd like to talk about really tonight is Cyrus as a hero and as an individual and a leader that created unity within himself as well as really global. Now, who was Cyrus?
Did they sell this in Amazon?
Yes, all my books are available on Amazon under my name or under the book. Also, do a little bit of marketing, plugging. They're also available on our website, cyrusthegreatbook.com. Thank you.
Wasn't he the ruler of Iran? Persia.
Yes, Cyrus the Great was the founder of Persian Empire. We Persians, we consider him as our father. Yes, it's Kurosh, right. And he was born, his father was Cambyses, the king of Persia, and his mother was Mandana, the king of Media. And when he was born, he was kidnapped at birth, and he was raised by shepherds. The reason he was kidnapped is Astyages, king of Media, had a dream, and he thought, and in the dream, he envisioned that his grandson is going to take over his empire, Media. Media is the northern part of Iran, and Persia was the southern part of Iran. I'm actually from Shiraz, which is Kako. But anyhow, I don't want to give you, you should probably go and buy the book. I'm just kidding. But anyhow, he was born, he was kidnapped at birth, and he was actually raised by shepherds in the countryside. And I think one of the reasons that he came up with those values and the vision and the mission, because he wasn't born in castles, and he wasn't what we call here with silver spoon in his mouth. So he acquired his values by his stepfather, who was a shepherd. But of course, he was discovered later on, and he went back and take over basically the Persian Empire, or the Persian province. Actually, at that time, that was a very small province in the southern part of Iran. And then his grandfather, still thinking Cambyses, that he's going to come after him, so he attacked Persia, and then, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but anyhow, Cyrus was successful in conquering Media and what he did, but of course he was half Median. His mother was Median, which in today would be the Kurdish people in the north, okay? And so he was half Median, half Persian, in effect. But of course he united the Medians and the Persians and became one, which was the Persian Empire. Then after that he conquered Lydia, which is the present-day Turkey, all the way to Eastern Europe. And then after that, he conquered Babylon, which was the present-day Iraq. Now, he was a leader, he was a conqueror, he was a visionary, and he was a hero. However, his value system is what he brought to the world. That's what we know about Cyrus. What we consider Cyrus as the fact that he came up with the first charter of human rights. That's amazing. The story of Babylon was the fact that Babylonians, when they conquered Jerusalem, they brought the Jews in as slaves in Babylon. Now, when Cyrus conquered Babylon, he freed the Jews. And not just he freed them, but he also helped them to go back to Jerusalem and build their temples. So to the Jewish people, he's considered as a, what is that? What's prophet. Actually, after prophet, after Moses, they still consider him a prophet. And it's interesting, the effect of Cyrus' ideology and thinking and philosophy on U.S. Constitution. Actually, our founding fathers, when they were coming, well, one of them, Jefferson, who really wrote the U.S. Constitution, when he was coming from France to Washington, he brought 2 books to the rest of the founding fathers and asked them to read these 2 books. These 2 books, one was Prince by Machiavelli, and the other one was Cyropedia by Xenophon. Now, who was Prince and who was Xenophon? Xenophon was a Greek historian and philosopher, and he wrote the story of Cyrus. Actually, most of our sources, most of our information about Cyrus comes from Xenophon. And at that time, Greeks and Persians were not good friends. But Cyrus was such a personality and such a unique person that Xenophon actually writes very well about him. and he wrote about his philosophy, his thinking, his ideology, and so forth. Now, Prince, I don't know, the book, I don't know how many of you have read it. It basically talks about how you're going to rule an empire or a country through fear. What tactics do you use to basically create an authoritarian regime? And you see that a lot. I mean, I think probably Putin, Ayatollahs, they all read maybe his book, The Prince, and they're using that as a model. It's through brutality, it's through fear, it's through murder. That's how you rule. Because in effect, it's not the government by the people, for the people, and for their benefits. It's basically when a mob or a mafia system take over a country and they would run it. And they don't care about, what's the benefit of the people there. But Cyrus, more than anything else, he was a humanist. He truly represented the values of a leader, of a hero that was thinking about humanity. And he came up, basically his thinking was that it's not the role of government to give us freedom. We're born with it. In other words, it's our inherent right. It's a God-given right to be free. And it's not, what government tells us, okay, you can have this freedom or you can have that freedom. The basic human freedom, we're born with it. We deserve it, we should have it. And I think today, more than anything else, what we're lacking are heroes, that they personify Cyrus's thinking. Most of our heroes these days. And I think that's one of the reasons our world is in this state. Look at, unfortunately, most data shows that we're moving toward authoritarian regimes in the world. I mean, look at what Putin is doing. Look at what Chinese leaders do. Look at what North Korea is doing. Look at what these Ayatollahs are doing. It's all theory X. It's all a model about Prince and Machiavelli. And unfortunately, we have to change that model, that mode of thinking. Now, I'm making a movie about this. Cyrus, we're actually in pre-production, and hopefully it should be on screen in next year, 2023. And the reason, Cyrus exemplified humanity, the fact that to begin with, you have to be comfortable and create a sense of unity within yourself, and then apply it toward your friends, toward your family, toward the society, as well as globally. Thank you very much.
They're asking a question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let me present the certificate first, and then we'll decide who discovered Cyrus first, right? Thank you for being here.
Sure. Who discovered him? He became the king of the largest empire the world has ever seen. When he was, okay, well, that's a very, very intriguing story in terms of what happened, how and he was discovered. Actually, there are 3 different versions. One version of it is that he was discovered by Daniel. And another version is that he was discovered by one of the generals. That there was a general, Assategas general, that he took him to the woods, and then he went back and he discovered. There are 3 different versions. Who discovered? I didn't understand your question, but when he was kidnapped, how he was discovered. Yes.